They say money talks, but true wealth whispers. For years, I chose silence. I chose to observe, to tend to my garden, and to live a life of intentional simplicity, despite the millions my late husband and I built through decades of sacrifice. But there is a specific kind of blindness that hits those who rise too fast without understanding the weight of the foundation. My daughter-in-law, Chloe, always saw me as an aesthetic burden. To her, I was just the mother-in-law who wore simple linen clothes and preferred quiet moments over ostentation, a woman with no class for the shiny world she was desperately trying to build. What she didn't know was that the very stage she planned to shine on, the Children's Hospital Grand Charity Gala, only existed because of a signature of mine, an anonymous signature. That night, she decided I wasn't worthy of a seat at the table, and it was at that exact moment, as she whispered insults in my ear in front of New York's high society, that I decided anonymity no longer served me. It all started months before the gala. Chloe was obsessed with status. To her, my son, Mark, wasn't just a husband, but a passport to a social circle she never earned. I saw how she pressured him, how she turned our home into a cold showroom where there was no room for my memories or my simplicity. I remember a Tuesday afternoon. I was in the reading room wearing my favorite cardigan. Chloe walked in with two of her influencer friends. They didn't even acknowledge me. I heard Chloe whisper in the hallway, "Just ignore her. That's just Mark's mother. She's from an era that didn't understand taste. I try to keep her in the back when important guests are over." The breaking point was the invitation to the Charity Gala. Chloe spent weeks talking about how this event would define their future in the city's elite. When I asked if there would be a seat for me at the family table, she let out a short, dry laugh, devoid of any affection. "Honestly, Mildred," she said, without taking her eyes off the mirror while retouching her lipstick, "this event is for high-level donors, people with class. You wouldn't be comfortable. Your clothes, your way, you'd look like a waitress lost in the ballroom. It would be an embarrassment to Mark. Please, just stay home." What she didn't realize was that my silence wasn't submission, it was data collection. That night, as I watched the luxury car, the one I had given them as a wedding gift, pull out of the driveway, I picked up the phone. I called my lawyer. It was time for the anonymous donor to finally pick out her gala attire. Class isn't something you buy at a designer store. It's something you carry in your spine, in the way you treat those who can offer you nothing. That night, my voice was as calm as the sea before a storm. "Change the protocol," I told my lawyer. "There will no longer be an anonymous donor. The owner of the foundation is on her way." The ballroom was thick with the scent of expensive perfume and ambition. I walked across the velvet carpet with a posture Chloe could never buy. I spotted Mark and Chloe at the head table. When my eyes met hers, time seemed to stop. She rushed over and intercepted me before I could reach the table. Her face was flushed with contained rage. "What are you doing here?" she hissed. "I told you to stay home. Look at you, trying to sneak in. You're going to ruin my night. Leave now before I have security remove you as an intruder." I simply smiled. "Chloe," I said in a low voice, "you should be careful who you call an intruder in the house that I built." The master of ceremonies took the stage. It was the moment Chloe had been waiting for. "Ladies and gentlemen," the man announced, "as you know, this hospital owes its existence to one person who for a decade preferred anonymity, but today she has agreed to be recognized. Please welcome our majority donor, Mrs. Eleanor Vance." The walk to the microphone felt like an eternity. As I passed Chloe, I didn't stop. I didn't say a word. The shock on her face was almost tangible. Good evening, everyone, I said into the mic. For a long time, I believed charity should be done in the shadows, but I recently learned that when silence allows arrogance to grow, the truth needs a voice. I looked directly at Chloe. Starting tomorrow, all superfluous organizational and marketing expenses will be cut. I will be personally assuming oversight of all foundation spending, including those delegated to members of my family. The morning after the gala was the quietest we've ever had in that house. Chloe didn't come down for breakfast. Mark sat with me on the porch, and in his silence, he asked for the forgiveness that words couldn't reach. He understood that protecting those we love also means not allowing their character to be corrupted by someone else's vanity. Chloe learned that respect isn't an accessory you put on to match an expensive dress. Money can buy you an invitation to the table, but only integrity ensures you get to stay seated. Today, the foundation is stronger than ever, and me? I'm still the woman who prefers simple linen and the smell of rain on the grass, because I know my class doesn't come from what I show the world, but the strength I keep inside. Never let anyone define your value based on what they can see. The greatest fortunes in life are always invisible to superficial eyes. If this story touched you, remember, you are the architect of your own worth. Subscribe for more stories of resilience. And tell me in the comments, have you had to show your strength to someone who underestimated you?